right, and we are live with the love of my life, the person that if I was a lesbian, I would probably marry her.
That's right. It's me.
Jacksters. I've known Jackie since we were in high school. It's been a long time. It's been
It's been a while.
like 12. No, my math sucks. Your math is better than mine. How long has it been?
About 12 years.
12 years? Oh, look at that!
Yeah, no, you were pretty good on that
Oh
one.
my
You did good.
god! Don't get used to it. That was luck.
It sounds really good.
Listen, we love it though.
Awesome. Okay, so before we begin, I want to just let people know that we're live because I did a terrible job last time of telling people. So we're gonna do that now. Live right now. Let people know,
Let's do this.
cause people forget. They have really bad memory. Share, copy link. Yes, I have to say everything out loud. You realize that when you go live, as long as you're talking, that's what matters. You can't stay silent.
Yeah. When you're silent, especially when if you are looking up something and you're just looking in one direction for very long, people just feel like it's just not.
Yeah, that's why I have to literally say everything I'm doing. That way there is no silence. So, yeah. All right. So, before we begin, guys, to those of you who have not followed, follow me on Instagram, Mary_Truths. Find Jackie. Jackie, I always forget your Instagram tag.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's private anyway.
Okay. All right. Never mind.
All the love to Marianne, though. We want all of the love. I want to see all the interactions in the comments. I love popping in and being like, "Ooh, this guy," or nah, I don't know about that one. So
she's actually a Patreon member, so she supports MBE. She's one of the ones who started supporting me from the very beginning. You've always been supporting me from the very beginning. I love you so much.
bro, I want to see you go places. I don't care where you're going. Take me with you. Let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go. We need people to see that not all conservatives are anti-liberals. So that's what this platform is pretty much about. Because I had some people tell me, because you're conservative, you're gonna just bring in conservative people. I was like, no, I want people that don't agree with my point of views, because that's what the whole point of a democracy or an open dialogue. We talked about this not too long ago, last week, was to be able to push back on each other, to be able to come to a common ground that other people can see.
Right.
Oh, okay, they actually do get along. It's not so freaking polarized like the media likes to put it. So that's why I'm doing this.
I don't think anybody should ever be stuck in the same mindset. I just feel like no matter where you're in, if you're not constantly growing and you're evolving and you're questioning your own mindset, you get kind of cultish. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So yes, you do. I think questioning each other is really good.
Hell yeah.
Keeping each other accountable too.
So before I begin, Instagram, Mary_Truths. MBE. So MBE is my wellness platform. That is what I was talking about that Jackie subscribes to. It is a working progress. It is a very long project that Laz and I, my partner, are creating, but we believe that is going to be the future for this country because it cares about the health, the mental, and the body, and those things correlate with each other. So that's why we created Mind Body Elevation. So subscribe to that as well. That's MB Elevate on Instagram. And let's begin. So I told you I want to talk to you about God first. And the reason why I chose that topic is because when we were in high school, you were a Christian and I was
right. Hardcore Christian.
I'm still not a Christian, but I definitely believe more in the Christian values than maybe you do now. So I want to know what happened as to why did you flip, or did you were you a Christian because you were forced to be a Christian, or what happened there?
So I grew up in a Christian family, and it's not like the Christian family where you go once Easter or something like that. It was every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Sunday. So it would be my mom and my dad were both in the camera industry, so we were there for any concerts, or if it's like the youths, like we would also like record them so that way people could have recordings for like to watch later on and stuff like that. So like we were very involved with the church. I was in the choir in church, so also like you have to go on separate days for practices, show up beforehand. It's a whole thing. And I don't think I think I always had questions because I was surrounded by families that were always like the white picket fence, nuclear family, and there was never really examples of what it looked like when you are not in that. And it's always like the rules are set for, the picture perfect, but once you step out of the picture perfect, it's like, well, we don't really know what to do with you. We just know that it's not right, so you must be wrong. So it was just kind of that's something I've always struggled with, and it was a hard path, and sometimes I still feel like I kind of like lost something, like believing like I don't know, like Easter Bunny and things like that. It's just kind of something I wish I could still believe in, but it's not there.
So where are you at right now religiously?
I can't believe in any of it, honestly. I have many Christian friends, and I always support them because I know that having something to believe in gets people through a lot of hard times. I think it is something important to have, and I would never want somebody to lose their religion because of me. Do I want to debate? Absolutely. But if I know it's going to break you, then I'm just going to listen to you and be like, cool, cool, cool. Love that you believe that, but we're just gonna leave it at that.
Do you believe in God?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because like, if I have to believe in any god, it's gonna be the Greek gods, because it's just like, there's no way they could see all these people in pain, in different levels of pains, and just like not do anything. You're just gonna like have a lottery of like, you get a miracle today, but not y'all. This one's my favorite today, kind of thing. Like, so I just feel like if we do have to pick gods, it's gonna be like the Greek god. That's how I think he is. I don't think he's just. I don't think that he is.
So do you consider yourself pagan? I think
Listen,
that's Greek.
I'm not.
Greeks
I don't
are
really
pagan.
know.
They
Like I
believe in
know.
multiple gods, just like Egyptians believed in multiple gods. Santeria
No,
technically
I
is
don't.
pagan too.
No, I don't believe in any of that, honestly. I think I believe maybe more in energy, maybe. And when I mean energy, it's just like the whole like energy can't be made or like destroyed. It's just
Yeah.
transferred. So
Right.
I think that's where I find myself. It's not concrete yet. I still find myself questioning. I'm like, hey, well, what about this? But like I think for the most part, it's kind of like we are born, that energy comes, maybe like I don't know, maybe souls are recycled, maybe, I don't know, but like we give back to the earth, and then like the earth gives it to us, but right now we're in an off balance because we've kind of been fucking the earth royally. So I think it's kind of just like, listen, I've tried the best I can, but you guys have really fucked me over. Am I allowed to curse? I've been cursing like it's all good.
Yes, you just can't say the N word.
Wasn't going to, but okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can say. Oh, and the F word,
Okay.
like the F word. That's for gays.
Oh, got it. Okay, cool, 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 cool.
You can say retarded though. That's not a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah, because
Okay.
comedians do it all the time, so they've like just they've let it go. Like, all right, whatever, fine. They've said it, like just let it be.
Oh man. Okay, but yeah, I think that's maybe what I'm more leaning towards. It's just kind of we are all part of one circle, and I think we should. I guess how it ties back to Christianity is I do believe in some of the building blocks. I just don't like how I've seen it play out now. Because if we think about it, Jesus was friends with the shadiest of people. Like, you're talking about a prostitute, a guy that does tax fraud, the lowest of jobs, like fishermen. So it's like, this is a guy that likes to shake up things. He's just like, oh, you've made religion into I don't know, a series of rituals, and that's not what religion is. So I feel like all the Christians now would not get along with the Jesus that they so-called like they think they believe in.
There's I don't know when this started, but I got into it 2018, I think, or 2019, one of those two. Into the idea of, because it's all an idea at the end of the day. Like people believe in ideas, so it's, to me, it's not a person, it's a consciousness, an intelligence of some sort. I don't know if Jesus really existed. I don't know. I have no idea. At the end of the day, the Bible was made by men, so like a lot of the stories in the Bible are stories that we need to grow and evolve, and other stories are demeaning and demoralizing. So you take what you want from it, it's kind of like take it with a grain of salt type thing. But to me, Jesus Christ it's the Christ consciousness, what they call it. So it's not, they don't see it as the idea itself is not that he was a man, but that he was a mentality. That saying that supposedly he said, what I can do, you can do too, if not better, or something like that. I'm butchering the quote, but I don't, because I've never read the Bible.
That turned into a song too?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So to me, it's just a mentality that we create to become better people. That's why I don't personally like religion, because it puts you in a box. But I do like the concept of it in that way. Like if you're gonna say that Jesus Christ is a consciousness, and you can adapt that mentality and apply it into your life and become a better person, fantastic. Amazing.
And you know what? I would believe more something like that versus, no, it was a person. And I can understand miracles, because miracles are just phenomenons that we can't explain. And as humans, we need an explanation for everything. And I can understand, like,
at least we think we do. At least I don't.
Right. I think it's just kind of like, oh my God, like children, they come downstairs, there's presents. Why are there presents? It must have been Santa. Like, we're not going to talk about the logical thing that our parents are the ones that put it there. No. So I can understand. I don't like when people take the Bible so literal, because even like the parables that are in there are not meant to be taken serious. Like everything means something.
Yeah,
so
it's poetry.
Right. And I just feel like a lot of Christian churches, they just kind of go, poetry? No, this shit was literal.
This is
word for word. We cannot question it. This is not something we could debate. It is Bible, and that's it. It's just like, you realize that so many things got lost in translation over the languages.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
Years.
It wasn't even Hebrew. I was looking it up the other day. It was what was it?
Greek.
Aramaic. Was it like the first language of the Bible? It wasn't Hebrew. I think it was Aramaic or something. Look it up. You have a computer right in front of you.
I'm right here. I'm here for you. Hold up. Of the Bible, first language, Aramaic, I don't know how to say that
Aramaic,
word.
yeah.
So the original languages, this says there's three: Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic.
Okay. Yeah.
So which makes sense.
So it wasn't even.
Again,
so like, look how diluted it's become. You know what I'm saying?
I took a history class a few semesters ago, and honestly, going to college, they've had such great professors, because before this I hated history, but like they've explained things in a way where it's hot tea, and you're just like, ooh, you're just eating all this up. And like the way that like they were explaining Christianity in the beginning, they were the oddballs in the corner. Like they weren't. I know like Christians want to be like, oh, they just hated us. No, you were just irrelevant. You were this new thing. And Christianity is still really new compared to the other religions that you're talking about. So
it was Jewish first, right? It was Jews, and then Catholics, right? And then Christians.
I believe so. But even then you have I think Buddhism was even older than that.
But they don't even consider that a religion. They consider it a lifestyle.
Right. But it's still like, I think you lump it in there because you're changing your life for this thing. I think anything you're changing your life for, I think actually that's even the Bible describes as like when you're idolizing something and it becomes your God, it's because it completely takes up a lot of your time. So in my head, anything that takes up a lot of your time, something that you go out of your way for, it is a religion of sorts.
MBE is my religion.
I'm sorry?
MBE is my religion. I've made it my religion.
And that, you know what, that makes sense to me. You are building something that is really, it is a part of, you have tied it to you. And I think it has, like, it's great principles. You have a lot of stuff on there on working out. Laz has his meditation on there, which I found very helpful. So, like, yeah, I love you guys for that.
I love you too. We're gonna have more of that though, because we've been splitting ourselves in two since I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm writing a book. I don't know if I told you that I'm writing a book.
You did mention it to me. How's that going?
It's going. No.
You're talking about Christ consciousness, and then we got into like Buddhism, and then we got how old it was, and then
so it's Buddhism, it's Hinduism. I know Hinduism is really old too.
Yes. So like you had all these Eastern Asian, you had Eastern Asian over here. Then you had your African. You also had, well, no, your white people were all over there. They were doing their own thing, trying to kill people. Oh my God.
I didn't know that Christianity didn't stem from colonialism. It actually started in Africa, which I think is
around Mesopotamia.
Isn't that in Africa?
That is, it's like that thing in the, hold up.
I think it's Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. Look it up, but I think it's Ethiopia. Ethiopia.
Yeah, there you go. All right. The Roman province of Judea. Now let's look up where that is. Roman province of Judea. Let's see. Yeah, this is why it's a huge fight on like who started it first, because you have the Jewish people talking about that. You also have the Muslims and a few other people over there arguing on who started it first. But it was basically somewhere like in the Israel area.
I'm gonna look it up on ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for everything. Freaking love ChatGPT. It says here, Christianity originated in the Roman province of Judea, modern-day Israel and Palestine in the 1st century AD. It was founded on the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth, a Jewish preacher whose followers spread his teachings after his death and resurrection according to Christian belief. So it goes back to the Jews. It always goes back.
Which is why they're still to this day fighting for that area, because they believe that it's theirs. But the thing is, again, if you really think about it, you have all these people that were there before them, and they're like, well, this new religion, we thought of it here, so we get to claim this. Thank you very much. And it's just like, okay, but there were people there before you. This was special for other reasons. But I think we got off a little bit off topic because we were talking about languages. And I remember like we would do these projects on like, okay, cool. Like let's pick a topic and we're thinking about anger this week. Let's look up the meaning of anger in Hebrew, in Greek. And then I didn't do this in our Maniac. I don't know what that is, but we didn't use that language. We used Greek and Hebrew, and then we would look up that word, and then we would see where that word was in the Bible, and then we would also look up different definitions of each word in that Bible in the original languages, because sometimes you would get a completely different meaning.
Right.
You'll have like you know how the same thing we have in Spanish where it's like one word could mean this, but like you could also use it in this other sense, and it's like it's not really like I hate you, but it's more like I hate your existence kind of thing. It's a deeper kind of meaning, or it's like I like you, but I'm only saying I like it because I'm not trying to upset you kind of thing. So like there's different meanings of the word that just kind of got into this basic form of English so that way we can understand. So there's also those things.
So you think that language affects like how people believe in God?
I think so.
I don't know, because it shouldn't though. Like
it shouldn't, but I think it's not the language itself. I think it's just maybe things that we have missed out because we weren't taught that part of the meaning. So like how we're talking about parables and like people are taking it literally, I think sometimes that's what people are doing in Christianity versus trying to see the different definitions, the different um not only that, but like what it means to their culture. Because certain things are important to different cultures. Like you can't eat pork in certain religions. And there is an origin to that. And it was because, before the pig can get you sick,
Yeah.
it wasn't a clean animal. So that's the reason why we don't eat pork. And then it just kind of it became a thing where we just don't eat pork.
I've also heard that like pork is like the closest thing to humans or whatever. When you're killing a pork, it's like you're like the way it sounds as if you're killing a human being or something along those lines. And I was like, I mean, I get it, but I'm like, Cubans survived off of pork.
Right.
Like, I can't just like not eat pork. That's not like.
But then think about that, because that's something that people don't really don't think about. It's like, okay, take away like the pig from Cubans, and what do you got? Like those kind of rules would not make sense in those situations, because that's all you have to that is borderline survival. Let's take it with the cultural part, and it's just like, okay, what else are you gonna eat there?
It's crazy how like how in Cuba you weren't allowed to practice any religion, and then I think it was during I'm not really like savvy on Cuban history, even though I should be, but I'm not. I think it was like in the 1980s and 90s. That's when like they started like becoming more liberal when it comes to like, yeah, you can whatever, like they didn't care anymore, and then that's when people started believing more in God. But before that, you weren't allowed to believe in anything, which to me is fucking evil. You should allow your country to believe in something, because if you don't believe in something, then you're gonna believe in government, which is, I'm sure.
No, I think that, yeah, like again, like religion is really important for people, especially people passing through hard time, because you don't have an anchor, you don't have something to like help you pull you out. So that was gonna be my next question, is like, do you know, I guess, what people believed in? I know they weren't allowed to believe in anything, but it's just like, I guess, is that where maybe certain religions branched out of, or because
Santeria became a big thing because that was like, you were rebelling against the Catholic Church, because the majority of Cubans were Catholic because the Spaniards came and conquered Cuba. So like that's the Roman Empire, but it was mainly Santeria, and then they would hide out. So they would have like these underground like temples where you would go and like do your stuff, and then that was the way to rebel against the government, because that's the only thing you could actually believe in. And I respect Santeria, I have nothing against it. I just I wouldn't practice it myself, and I'm terrified of people who do. But
that's kind of been ingrained in you.
Yeah,
especially when we would go, we go to the park, and then you'd see like a sacrificed chicken with like other things. You're like,
yeah, I know.
I didn't look at that. I didn't see that, because God knows what's gonna come after me.
My mom taught me. She goes, "You never walk in a street that has four corners, because usually when there's a street that has four corners, they're going to put, their voodoo stuff in one of the corners. So like that's just like superstitious stuff like that."
Whistling. I remember that I could not whistle in your house.
Yes.
Why was that?
Because you still not in this house, because I don't have un Elegua in this house. But in my mom's house, you're not allowed to whistle, because un Elegua is like a spirit that's supposed to open doors for your children. So, but you're
wait,
supposed.
Hold up. What was that name again?
Elegua.
Okay, never mind.
I don't know.
I was thinking about something else. Yeah.
Alegua? I don't know how you would say that shit in English.
Oh my god, Papalegua.
What is that?
So that's okay. There is a song. It's this Dominican made it, and it's basically Papalegua is the god or the deity that you have to go through in order to talk to another god. So like you could not, like, let's say you want to talk to this god, like God B over there, you can't talk to him unless you get through this one. He is like your messenger, I guess you can say, your gateway. So you definitely want to be.
So it's similar to that, except you're not connecting to another deity. This is just a a saint or a spirit or whatever you want to call it that opens doors for you, you know, for success or whatever. And if you don't feed it, so if you don't give it coffee and candy, because it's a kid, it's not even a man, it's a male child, that's the spirit, and you have to feed it like candy and coffee, and some people give it like tobacco. That's not for kids, but whatever that they give that to them too. And then it said that if you don't maintain the saint, then your youngest kid, a bunch of problems start happening to the youngest kid. And since I am the youngest, and I really believed in that, because every time some shit would happen to me, or I would have drama in school, which is, as you know, nothing new. Hence why I'm writing a book about it, because there's been a lot of drama since I was a kid. I would always go to my mom and be like, "Have you been feeding your Elegua?" And she would look at me like, "No, I haven't." I'm like, "Well, maybe you should, because this has been happening to me." And then,
do you know how to spell that? Because I really want to look that up real quick.
Elegua. Elegua. Yeah.
Elegua. So I think, because what you're saying, it really like
there's two of them. There's one that's an actual spiritual one, which is like a coconut, and then there's another one that's the one that santeros use. I don't.
Yeah, so I think the one that Los Santeros use is the one I was talking about, is Legba. And he is it's West African, Caribbean, and New Orleans cultures serve as a mediator between humans and spirits. Yeah. And it's man, I'm gonna be looking this up later, because I really want to see, because all right, so you know how like everything around in the Caribbean kind of blends in, because that was like a melting pot for like multiple different things. So I want to see like the correlation between Elegua and then Papa Legba, because they're so similar.
Probably very similar, because Dominicans and Cubans are not like far off from each other.
No,
at all. The difference is that we can speak slow and they can't. That's the difference.
I don't know. I feel like it kind of just depends on how excited a Cuban can be.
Well,
the more excited a Cuban
that's
can
what I'm saying.
like,
we can actually control our tempo. They cannot. That's the only difference. That's it. Everything else is the same. Oh, and then the food, we named the food different. That's
yeah.
That's it. And then we have a whole country, and they have half of country, because the other half is Haitian, which is retarded to me.
It's honestly like, I kind of just like looked it up just to kind of see what's going on, and it's just like Haiti it's in its own thing, and
yeah, it's really bad over there.
Yeah, it's bad over there,
but
dude.
It's been bad for a long time. They're just like showing us now. It's always been
bad. And then looking into like the history of it, it's like you realize that we played a huge part in the way that like it got to where it's at. Like, it didn't just get to there. Us in France, like,
we've been playing well, not we, but the government of this country has been playing a huge part in the Caribbean for a long time. I mean, Cuba is the guinea pig of that issue.
Yeah.
Colombia too is another guinea pig. Venezuela is currently now
Nicaragua.
Yeah. So it's just just
metieron la mano where they shouldn't have.
Exactly. So I mean, the movie that I was watching when I was watching Godfather, the second Godfather movie, I didn't know that there's a scene where they're in Cuba, and they're like enacting as if it was like in the 1940s when what's this guy's name? I always forget his name. God, the president of Cuba at the time, what was it? Batista. When Batista was in power. And then
Papita?
That's his name, Batista.
Oh, Batista. I heard Papita like a little fry. I was like, I love Papita.
He kind of had a potato face, but you know, that's near here or there. And then so he was in power, but then in the movie it shows how like the government of Cuba was like colluding with the United States government. And then I called my dad up after I saw that movie, because there's a scene that I had a feeling, I'm like, this didn't really fucking happen. Or like in December, that's when the like the war of La Revolución, which was never a revolution, but that's what they want to call it. The war striked, and then a bunch of people went into the streets, and then like the workers, called the proletariats, went into the streets and they started breaking stuff, and then the middle class or the bourgeoisie, they started like, they got all scared because their president is like, I'm leaving the country, I'm out of here, like that's it, I don't want any more bloodshed. That never freaking happened. That was a lie. That's what the movie was just kind of like promoting that, right? And then the movie was made in the 1970s when Fidel Castro was already in power, so I'm like, of course he allowed that to happen. That people, Americans could think that really happened in real life, and never freaking happened. I called my dad, I'm like, Dad, did that really happen? He's like, no, Marion, that never happened. I was like, I figured. And then I asked him, I was like, so like why, he gave me like a short version of it, because he would have to sit down with me and really like thoroughly tell me. But he, just to like paraphrase, he said that when after the war, because there was a war, and then there was the revolution after the war, which is when Fidel Castro finally took into the power. So Fidel Castro mainly won because the American government wanted him to win. They didn't want Batista anymore to win. They wanted him to win because they assumed that he was going to be on their side, and that was a lie. He like completely said, psych! And he just went, Russia, over here. Come here, Russia. Screw these people. These people are crazy. Because he had this belief that America was an imperialist country or whatever. So then he decided to go into Russia, which is ironic because Russia was also imperialist, but whatever. I guess he preferred Russia over American government. But that's why I thought that was funny, because I was like, it's funny how like the American government's always been involved in like other people's governments. Like to this day, they're still involved in other people's governments, and I have no problem with it to an extent. But if it's gonna like benefit us and the people of that country, not the people in charge of the country, you know. That's where I'm at there, though. I don't know how
I think if the country is asking for help, and I don't mean like the country, because sometimes it could just be like it's people that are asking for help, I can understand. But a lot of times we go in there because we're like, oh, we can make a lot of profit from just being involved. And if things get fucked, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's their problem at the end of the day. We made our money and we're good.
Yeah.
But it's just like, can we solve our problems first?
Yeah. It's not like that money's gonna go to the, us. It's not going to us. Because if you're gonna screw over another country for us, then maybe to an extent morally I'm not okay with it. But if it's gonna improve us, fine. We're still self-interested human beings. But you're not helping us. You're just you're screwing everybody.
You're not helping anybody. We're making a profit.
Well, they're making profit. And then
we're burning bridges.
We're not making anything. We're not making anything.
I don't really know what it is, because like if it's not for profit and we're not helping people, because we're definitely not helping people. It's like we're just like the nosiest viejitas in the neighborhood, really, just metiendo la mano and just like cool. I've stirred enough the pot and that's it.
So I mean, this is like totally like, I mean, I'm gonna ask you this and then I'm gonna flip it to abortion, since it's already 6:42.
Cool.
Are you not an interventionist, an isolationist? Like, do you believe that we shouldn't be in any, like, do you believe that our military, I mean, you were in the military, so do you believe that as somebody that was in the military, do you think that military should be in other countries, or do you think that we shouldn't do that at all?
I could understand if we have some sort of allyship with another country, because that way it's a lot easier to like just work things out. I can understand that. I do not like the idea of basically like neo-colonialism, which I think.
What does that mean again? What is neo-colonialism?
Oh, like it's just like there's like territories are still like a form of like colonialism. Like we don't want them to go, neither do we want them to stay. So it's just like we still just want a foot in there so we have some sort of control. And I can understand how as a country it is a safe thing to do, because we want to make sure that at the end of the day we have more tools to use if shit hits the fan.
Do you think we should force other countries to have our same beliefs?
I don't think we should be doing that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think the majority of times we just kind of go in there, we're trying to be the saviors of the world, and we just kind of like make things worse. I do think there's situations where we have to go in there because the people are asking for help. The people are dying over there. Like the whole like free Palestine, Gaza. Like I do
people
think
going over there right now. We have people going there now.
Right. But to
They're
what
gonna
like
fight now.
how long did we have to wait for them to get help? Because I understand that Israel was our ally, and there was a partnership there. But it's been wrong from the very beginning. And we've only been there because of money, because we have, our foot in the Middle East. But people were literally being slaughtered. Like, there's no reason why hospitals should be shot up. I don't care what terrorist is in there. Like, that's a hospital at the end of the day. Those are families, those are dads, moms, grandparents that are in there for medical reasons outside of being attached to a terrorist or whatever.
There's I don't know where I read this because I read too much, but I read somewhere. I'm not sure it was the New York Times or somewhere, that they let you know beforehand they're going in before they go in. That's their reason. I'm gonna tell you I'm going in. You got an hour to evacuate. If you don't evacuate, that's war for you, baby.
I don't think that's true. I think they say that just for our peace of mind. Because how many, there was that little 6-year-old girl that got bombed. She's a 6-year-old. And I think they were it was like a food truck.
But at the same time, Palestine's not a country.
It was a country though, and it was taken over.
But they lost.
It was
the
pushed
war,
out the way.
Isn't that what happens when you lose a war? You get conquered. That's what happened here.
And okay, got it. Like, all right, we're gonna, that's you lost and you lost. You got consequences for losing. All right, we'll flip that page over. But we're talking about now. It's like you guys have been making it impossible. Like you guys have basically done what the Germans did to the people that were put in ghettos. And you're making the situation really, really hard. And when it comes to people can only get pushed back so much. They will start acting up. They will start do what they can to ask for help. And it may not always look humanitarian. It's not always you look at teenagers. They start acting out because there's a disconnect somewhere. People don't just start acting up because they're acting up. Like even the goody two shoes, they start acting up because maybe they're not getting the attention that they need at home. So that being said, I don't condone what Hamas had done. I'm not for the violence, but I understand where the desperate call for help is.
What I don't understand though is it's really easy to blame Israel because there's a lot of bad blood there. But what about all the other countries that are Islam? That's the only country that is Jewish in that area. Jordan's not doing anything. Egypt is not doing anything. Syria's not doing anything. So it's really easy to blame them because they're the ones defending themselves. I still think they are defending themselves. They still got attacked, So if you get attacked or if your kid is getting attacked, I'm gonna fucking strike, So you have to see it both ways. And then in the Palestine, there's a lot of victims there. But at the end of the day, they were conquered by a terrorist organization that overthrew the PA liberal, whatever the fuck, which are Marxist. But that's another story that they moved to the West Bank. But they were pushed to the West Bank by Hezbollah. And Hezbollah is being funded by Iran. So to me, I think it's just I think Palestine's just a pawn in this chess game. And then people are seeing it as oh my God, poor pawns. We need to take care of the pawns. But at the end of the day, they are victims to the real problem, which is Iran. And then Iran's being funded by China, and it's also being funded by Russia. So it's like, so people just want to pick at Palestine, and there is something we can do about it, but it's like, how can you help Palestine if you have other countries around it that aren't doing shit when they're around it? Like, why do we have to be the
and
ones?
like you have to look at like why they're not, and it's because this is not just like, I think this is the reason why it got so much attention, was because this is not just about two countries. These are these two countries who have the big brothers, who have like there's so many hands being put in place, and which is why I think it was called so much attention, because it's just like, for one, I don't think that you should have people watching the bombings like it was a football game.
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
I'm questioning your humanity. You're not.
That's on Reddit,
you
right?
have-
I think that's on Reddit. Like, people can see the whole war on Reddit, I think.
It's yeah, like there's pictures, there's videos, there are like gatherings, and it's like like before October 7th, you did have people starving there. You did have people that just like there was no electricity.
That's not Israel's fault. That's the government
of
I understand. Palestine.
So, but then you also I think you have to think about where they're at, because the people that they see is Israel, and Israel's not doing anything either.
I mean, what are they gonna do? They're being bombed by the other fucking side. What are you gonna fucking do when you're being bombed by the?
But you're talking like imagine like my kid and me. What she's sending over are makeshift bombs. I am sending elite things. I have hired people to perfect this weapon. This weapon is
no. They're sending weapons. Like, they're being funded by Iran. They're not just sending these makeshift. This isn't like Afghanistan, how it used to be. This is a terrorist organization that's enormous, and it's being funded by Iran, who's always, like, not always, but when wasn't that Iran stopped being... Iran used to be an amazing country, and then after the 90s, it just went downhill. After Carter, it went downhill. So, like, I don't know what happened there. I would have to talk to an Iranian to figure that out. But It's the fact that, like, that's a country that hates America, and it's purposely funding other tiny organizations like Hezbollah to attack the only country in the area that is an ally of America. At the end of the day, to me, it's not really an attack on Israel, it's an attack on us, because we're funding Israel, which I don't really agree with 100%.
Which
but we're funding Israel.
I think that's like where all of I think the anger here in the United States was just like, we're angry at you because you are putting money towards this. And I think a lot of people just kind of picked Israel just to a point of focus. But like the people that were out there, like all the encampments on like multiple university campuses, stuff like that, they were out there trying to like talk about things. And the people that would stir up all the issues would be, the people that were pro-Israel, because that became a whole thing where they weren't really talking about multiple countries. They were really they made it basic. They're like pro-Israel, against Israel. But you would have people in encampments, and I went to them, and it's just like, you saw them being organized. They have a place for donations. You have your place to go to the bathroom. But it's like, hey, listen, we have all of our bases covered. We're just here to protest. And then most of the time, it was the other people that were protesting the protesters that would stir up a lot of things and got things canceled. But they're like, that's the reason why all this anger is here. It's because it's our money, first of all, and we don't agree that it's going towards any of this.
And if it is, we should know where it's going, where the money is going. I mean, that goes for Ukraine too. I want to really quick just read the comments here, because I saw some comments. Edward is funny. Laz is the GOAT. Yeah, he is. He saved me from technical difficulties. You know what I'm saying, babe? It's because I'm having technical difficulties. At Benny's.
Oh, is it Eddie?
No, Eddie's not that cool. Eddie's brother.
Oh, I love Eddie's brother.
The thing is, the U.S. was running under the Manifest Destiny since the early 1800s. We were under Young, and we were the OG democracy, so everyone looked toward us for answers. Okay, I think he's talking about when we were talking about God.
Oh, but actually, I think just really like fun fact. It's kind of like off of left field. Talking about democracy. Did you know the woman? I don't have a dollar with me. Oh, actually, I do. Hold up. Let's see. What happened? God damn it! Put it in my purse. Never mind. But like, the woman that's holding like the thingy,
The thingy.
like the dollar bill,
Uh-huh.
Colombia. That was our goddess. We wanted to be like the Greeks, so we came up with our own goddess, and that was her. And that's why it's plastered everywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just random fun fact for you, but
That is a super random fun fact.
well, it's because I'll
Because we're
I'll
talking
just
about
do-
death and war and destruction, and you brought up how like you don't like the fact that an innocent child got bombed. So I want to talk about pro-life and pro-choice. So this is the part that I don't understand about pro-choice people.
okay.
You're in that bubble. How do you how is it that you care about a child that's being bombed, but you don't care about a life that's being developed inside a womb that's being killed? And I'm using the word killed because that's the correct term to use. I don't like to use ending a pregnancy or any of that bullshit because you are ending a life. So like, where is it? Why the hypocrisy? Why one yes and the other one no? But like, it's the same thing.
Talking
It's
about
still life.
hypocrisy, let's do this. So,
Yes, please.
So because it is a life, right? We're talking about a mini human being, right? And because we are in a capitalism world, right? Everything wherever we can make money, that's perfect. Why can I not put?
Hold on. No. No. There has to be ethics to making money.
Okay,
Right now,
cool.
there is
But
none.
why can I not put life insurance on a fetus?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Why can't I put life insurance on an unborn baby?
I don't know.
Because it's a life, right? So I should be able to do that. Meaning, if I have a miscarriage for whatever reason, I should be paid out life insurance, assuming I'm the beneficiary.
What? Okay, so you're saying
Yes
that,
and no. Because we're talking about hypocrisies here. So I
I don't know anything about life insurance, so like you lost me. I don't know what you mean by that.
So, but what I mean is just like you can put life insurance on a child. You can put life insurance on an old person. You could put life insurance on a newborn baby, but you can't do it as a fetus.
Because it's not
Once
out yet.
it comes out, then you can put it on.
Yeah.
But even the government, we're kind of all on the same page, but we're trying to be morally right about this, and that's kind of where everything gets fucked up. But like, if we're talking money wise, we're not counting it as a baby. We're not counting it as a real life.
We are.
And just because it has a heartbeat does not mean that it's actually like alive. How about all the people that are literally brain dead?
But it's living. It's living.
It's a parasite, really.
It's not a parasite. It's a living being. A
It's
parasite.
not okay.
A parasite is a parasite's meant to destroy and consume, and it can only live out inside the host. But a baby is not a parasite. A baby is a human
parasite
being.
is an organism that lives on or inside another organism that takes nutrients from it to survive.
Okay.
That is a baby.
So then,
a baby is
you're-
inside me taking my fucking
But then your
nutrients.
child right now cannot live without you, so you're calling her a parasite because she cannot live without you. Like,
But she's not getting nutrients from me.
yes, she is. You still need to
No,
feed
she's
her.
not. She's
You
getting
still-
my money, and that's a different story.
No, you still need to feed her. It's the same concept.
Right, but I am not giving her nutrients from my body.
Doesn't matter. You're still feeding her. She still relies on
That-
you.
Okay, if we're going off the definition, it's getting nutrients from it, not money. Because there's nothing I can give her now that is from my body that will completely sustain her.
Okay.
So, not a parasite anymore. But in my body, yes, she was a parasite, and she knows this, okay? My favorite parasite. I loved this little parasite when she was one. But at the end of the
So
day,
you're
that's
saying
what
that a baby, because it's not outside the womb, is a parasite because it's inside the womb.
that's
what you're saying.
it says inside
Okay,
another
I think the only
organism.
reason why you're saying that is because you want to detach yourself from the reality that it is a baby inside the womb.
But it's not. So let's look at another.
But science has literally, okay, there's two different, the problem that I'm having is that there's two different sciences. There's the based science that's relying on reality, and then there's this, like, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna call it a liberal science, where you're gonna call it a fetus, even though a fetus is an offspring, and an offspring you can call an offspring. We are offsprings right now, and we're outside the fetus, right? So they call it that because they don't want you to attach yourself to the fact that it is a human being growing inside of you. It's growing inside of you. Like, what parasite has that same capacity, that does the same thing, that it's growing inside of you, and then until it's ready to come out of you. That's why, like, if you're gonna call it a parasite, it's because you want to detach yourself from the fact that it is a child developing inside you. No, because the thing
is that, like, I understand it's a baby. I understand this.
Okay, I'm glad you understand that. Okay, that's good. We're on a good start. You're on a good start.
Okay, but one thing we have to think about is that, like, we are perfectly fine pulling the plug on people that are brain dead, right?
I mean,
it might hurt our feelings because of all the memories that we have attached to this person, what this person means to us, but we are allowed, that is an option that we can do. We pull the plug because at the end of the day, they are just surviving off of this,
machine.
Off the machine. Right. And it's no good for anybody. They have passed. That's it. So, okay, leave me alone. Okay, have an alarm.
But they lived a life before they were.
But they lived a life, and I understand that. So, I think there should be an option for abortion up to a certain point.
Okay, what's your limit?
Let's see, because I pulled up the weeks because I don't remember these things. This was 8 years ago. I was pregnant. So it says around 31 weeks when it has finished the majority of its development. I don't want to leave it all the way till there's a fully formed baby inside of you, because there's a difference. I think that beforehand you should have the option. I think what was the thing before, like 20 weeks? 20 weeks, the fully baby is not fully developed. It's not.
There's 13 states right now that are allowing you to abort at 8 to 9 months of pregnancy, which, by the way, Kamala said that was a lie, which is not a lie. That is happening.
No, the part that she was saying a lie was when Trump said that you are allowed to make the decision after it's given birth.
There are states that are allowing that too. Minnesota is one of them.
At birth.
After birth. Minnesota
That's
is one of them.
So you're saying that they're calling it an abortion?
I mean, at that point, you're not aborting. You're killing. You're killing the child.
But I want to know what lingo they're saying.
I don't know. I'm calling it terminating a baby after birth, but I forgot. They're calling it a different term. They're calling it pregnancy outcome or some shit like that. I don't know the terminology right now. I just saw it not so long ago. I was like, that's crazy. Minnesota's one of them. California is another one. New York is another one. There's a couple states that are very, like. I honestly think I think 6 to 7 months is, like, to me, the cap, because you can hear a heartbeat at 7 to 8 months.
No, you can hear a heartbeat very early on, but just because you hear a heartbeat doesn't mean that that's just like the electrical work, you know what I mean? Like, it's not fully formed. That's kind of where it starts.
But there's life already. If there's electricity forming, there's already life.
Yeah, but again, going back to the whole pulling the plug thing, like, even newborn babies, if they can't make it, then they kill them.
There is no I want to know what mother is going to allow her newborn baby, if they can't make it, they already died, but she's not going to want it to die, Like, the part that I don't understand is that, like, back in the days before abortion was even a thing, women would die wanting to be pregnant and wanting to give birth. Like, this is not like being pregnant.
It depends on the person. Okay, it depends on the person. Let's talk about other scenarios, because that's the ideal thing. A mother wants to give birth and have a healthy child, raise it until it's an adult, and then it goes forth, right? That is the ideal picture. But let's talk about the 15-year-old girl that got pregnant because her, uncle raped her. She doesn't want that baby.
That's understandable, because it's rape.
So, like, there's the rape victims, they have that. Then you have the people who, like, let's say they don't count it as rape because they were told that at 15 or 13 they were able to get married. And now, no, you were not married. And you weren't raped. That was, that is your child that you had out of, your marriage that,
Out of wedlock.
So, right. So, like, there are other situations, or let's say a person who is just not financially there to do it. What are you going to do? Have a
That's
child?
not a reason not to have a child if you're not financially stable. There's plenty of organizations that will help you. Now more than ever before, there's plenty of organizations.
And I get where you come from. Yes, there's a lot of
Shit,
resources.
there's social programs that I'm against that will that support women that don't have the funds, like Medicaid, WIC, all that socialist shit that I'm totally against.
But how many the people that are having these children who are not sure of their like ability to give the child a good life are not aware normally of these resources.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
No,
They can look it up.
no, it's not.
They can look it up.
You
That's
could
a lie.
look it up, but some of these people are so scared.
Hispanics don't even freaking, bro. Hispanics come from a third world country and they have kids here and they will figure out how to financially stabilize their kid.
Right,
and
right.
It's,
not
it's single
everybody is
moms.
like
I'm not even
that.
talking about like a nuclear
You
family.
are comparing these people to
Wait.
like that's not the norm.
But okay, but your argument is a person that's been raised in a first world country who is not financially stable has their reason to abort their child is because they're not financially stable. And I'm telling you, a family or let's say a mother, a single mother who comes here, who came from a third world country, figures out how to have the baby and be able to stabilize the baby with social programs that this country gives them. So like this idea that a single American woman cannot financially figure it out is bullshit, because if a single Hispanic woman can, then an American woman can. And the majority of women who abort are black women for the most part, not even white women, which is another thing altogether.
My argument was not that. That was more of an example. My argument is that there are situations where people don't want the baby, period. Because at the end of the day, we can do the same thing for a rape victim. She has resources. There are government resources that she can go get therapy and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, she was raped. She does not want this baby. So like it's the same. It is like whether it's a good reason or not, it's not. So okay, my thing is I do think that there should be a federal law that says, hey, this is the rule. You can add to it, but you can't take away from it.
Do you know what the Declaration of Independence says?
What?
I'm going to read it to you. This is my favorite quote of the
Which part?
Declaration of Independence. The most important part, because everything else is just kind of like a lot of mumbo jumbo. All right. All men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So obviously everybody understands that differently, but what I understand from that is we have liberty that comes from God. That's why my first topic with you was God. The government does not tell me I'm free. I was born free because God gave me free will, hence the word free before the will. So the government should not be telling me what to do with my fucking body. So the whole a government should create a law that allows me to feel free is the illusion of freedom, because I was already free before the government told me that I was free. If the government is telling you that you are free, then you are not free. The government is telling you that you're free. So you're only free if the government tells you. That's not freedom.
Great. So I am free to do what I want with my body, meaning there should be no rules saying what I should and should not do with my body, right? So I should have an abortion and nobody should ask me anything about it.
But the federal government should not be telling you that you are free, which is what Roe v. Wade did. Roe v. Wade told the government.
Roe v. Wade, I think they said until 20 weeks. Right?
Yes.
So they have the ability to do that until 20 weeks.
Yeah, that's not up to the government. That's not the government's job to do. If the government is telling you that you have up to this time, then the government is controlling your body. That defeats the whole purpose.
So would you say that you're pro-choice then?
No, I'm not. I'm pro-life. But I don't agree that the government should be telling you what to do with your own body. I believe that's between you, your doctor, and the state you live in. If the state is telling you this is the law, the doctor and you have to go and stick to that law. If not, you can go and move to another state that's liberal to your liking, like California.
But New York, again, some people are not able to just up and move. Some people, like, let's say a lot of the people that stay in Miami, it's because that is where their whole life has been. Where they're gonna go? Somewhere else where they're alienated, they have no support system. Let's say they already have kids and it's a single mom. You're going to go to work. Okay, cool. Your daycares, they are from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., the majority of them. Okay, great. But let's say you have the nighttime shift. And now you have to leave your kid with somebody random instead of like your mom or your dad that was back at home in a different state. Kind of thing. So, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, it should be ultimately up to the mom and the doctor. And that's it. Because at the end of the day, the doctor is going to be the person, like, ideally, if you have a good doctor, they are going to tell you, hey, these are your options. These are your safe options. Also, because that was another issue that they were running into earlier when they overturned it, was the fact that like women had to literally be on death's door to be able to get the abortion that they need because the baby died already.
Women are
on baby's in there.
Women are on death door when they get pregnant.
Right, but we're not talking about all those other situations. We're talking about abortion, and that was one of the hiccups that they had to like be like, okay, cool. So we overturned this, but we're gonna do this one rule of like, okay, unless you're at death's doorstep. So unless doctors are given the free will to be able to take it, you know, as safely as possible, whichever way the patient wants to go.
I think that people are just creating reasons to not be accountable for their own actions. If you know as an adult that you are in a state that is for the most part conservative, and you know that your cap is 6 weeks, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be responsible enough to say, I need to make sure I'm protected. I need to make sure because the reality is women are getting abortions because they don't want to feel like it's a burden to be a mother, which is sad, but whatever. It's not because they get raped.
It's
that's like
reason,
1%, but it's the fact that you are an adult.
It's not 1% though.
It is.
How many people do you know that have been raped?
Not many. That's why I'm saying it's very little. There's not many people that I know that have been raped. The majority of them have been gays. So they don't got to worry about abortion.
Have been what?
Gays, gay men. There's very few women that I know that have been raped. It's been mainly gay men, unfortunately. So that's what I'm saying. It's not common, you know. Thank God it's not common.
I think it depends, because in the military it is quite common.
Well, then that's probably why you have that perspective, Jackie, because you were in the fucking military, you know?
Right, but like that's the thing, like
the military is this. I'm talking about, I'm a civilian. I've been a civilian world my whole life, so I'm thinking of it in the sense of like, in the grand scheme of things, rape is not like the main reason women get abortions. It's because they were hoes. They decided to have sex with a guy they didn't trust. The guy came inside of her because he can't pull out. And she finds out that she got pregnant because homegirl doesn't know the signs beforehand, which to me is like, but whatever. That's like,
again,
I know.
It's not, you know these things because you went out of your way to do that.
Yes, because that's what adults do. They have to learn these things. Sex is not like.
They learn these things. But again, so why can't it be, if you believe in free will, why can't it be up to the woman and the doctor?
It can, but it's also up to that state. I believe in the 10th Amendment, bro. The state has
Why does it have to be up to the
too.
state, though? Because depending on the state
creates laws. The state creates laws. You have to abide by the law.
So, okay, what is the difference at that point I'm not talking about literally.
Why don't
Nation-wise and state-wise, okay. Why does it that state gets to say something about a woman's right and whether or not she is able to or not able to have an abortion?
Why does the state create laws that you can't drink and drive? And why do you abide by them? Okay, it's the same concept. They have the right to.
Whose safety are you talking about?
The civilians, us, the people living in the state.
You're talking about the mom though, because she's the only one pregnant. Whose safety does it like?
It's not her. It's also the baby inside of her.
But it's her decision. If it's her decision that leads her the wrong way, then she has to deal with that. If she wants to have an abortion and later down the road she regrets it, that is up to her. She made that decision. At that point, going to therapy, and that's what she could. But you chose that.
But
it should be your choice.
She can still have an abortion, just not in that state.
No,
that's still freedom. Right. That's still freedom. It's not,
because a lot of people they find out the 6th week.
Okay, then
That
Go
is
to
normally
another.
because like you miss your fifth week. Like I have an irregular period. Mine can't get that shit down. If you have any tips, great for afterwards. But like mine will come, like the normal, and then I don't know for the next 2 or 3 months, it might just go longer than that. And I'm just like,
You have a
what's going on
freaking.
here? No, I took it out
Oh,
like a year ago.
congratulations! I'm glad. Thank God.
Appreciate it.
Thank God. You're gonna
Right.
realize how
So like,
that's gonna even out now because I can promise
but
you
it
that's the
should
reason.
have been already regular.
No, dude, that takes time. It depends on your body, depends on your stress level, depends on your food consumption. My sister took
But
forever
not everybody's is regular though. Like
Oh, yeah, I know.
excluding me and the IUD and all that stuff. Like, there are some women that just have irregular periods. So they're like, okay, this is normal for me to like on my fifth week not have a period.
that's
No
not-
plot twist, you're actually fucking pregnant.
That's not
So it's just
normal.
like you at that point you can't even trust your own body.
That's not normal. If you're having an irregular period, it's because there's a nutritional or hormonal imbalance. That's not normal. You're supposed to be like the nature is systematic. Like if you're
Right, but
if-
that's not actually what's going on with women with all the shit that we're eating.
well, again, accountability is because women are choosing to eat like crap. If you were to actually care about what you're eating, then maybe you wouldn't have an irregular period, now would you?
So why 6 weeks though?
Well, in Florida, it's 6 weeks. It used to be 15 weeks, I think it was, or something like that. 15 weeks is what it used to be before DeSantis, and then it went all the way down to 6 weeks. They voted on that. Our representatives voted on it.
I think that
That's what a Republican.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe because
What's
there's
North
such
Carolina?
thing as male birth control. You know that, right?
Isn't North Carolina supposed to be super conservative too? What's their law on abortion?
North Carolina, I think we have 12 weeks. I think. Let me double check real quick.
I know
North
Georgia
Carolina.
just changed their laws. Texas changed their laws.
So it's illegal after 12 weeks of pregnancy. But okay, cool. If you're going to limit it to that much, at least still give the person a chance.
What do you mean?
I think 12, because 6 weeks is so soon to tell.
I mean, sure, if you don't know your body, but okay, let's say I don't know my body, I'm pregnant, and I just realized I'm 7 weeks in, and in Florida I can't abort. Okay, what am I gonna do if I really want to abort? I'm gonna go to a different state to abort the child.
And if you're living paycheck to paycheck already, how are you gonna afford the $400?
If you want to abort this baby, you're gonna figure it the fuck out.
But what you're arguing is the person's will, and at that point you're going back on what you're saying, because at that point it's not free will. It's not the whole if you want it to, you will, because sometimes there are no resources. There is nothing.
There's always a choice, and there's always resources. We live in a country where there's abundance everywhere. Just if people are lazy and they don't bother to look. But there's organizations that will literally help you to get that abortion done. That's the thing. Just there's organizations that will help you fund your whole pregnancy, and they will help you even for the kid to go for adoption if you don't want to keep the baby. There's so many organizations out here for both sides. So it's really just
right.
Which one
But why
you want to pick.
can't it just be available?
I mean, it is. You just have to go out there and look for it. It shouldn't be
Right, but
here
that's the
go
thing.
spoon fed.
No, that's not right or privilege. That's not something oh look, oh my gosh, yeah, North Carolina has 12 versus Florida 6. That's better. No. That's part of my healthcare. Get the fuck out of here. This is something if I want my fucking titties to get bigger, great. That's something I deal with a doctor. That is me and the doctor. There's no state telling me I can't get fucking bigger boobs or smaller boobs.
Yeah, but that's not healthcare. That's cosmetic.
Okay, but how about the BBLs? I could have gone
even-
to a
is it-
doctor. Chill out. Wait, hold up. I have a point to this. There's a point to this.
But that's cosmetic, isn't it? BBLs.
So, but it caused a lot of harm. Actually, there was,
yeah, of course.
there was, but that's so again, it should be up to there's other procedures that are allowed that have not been, there's no law prohibiting it, and it causes more harm than an abortion. An abortion is very safe. It's like that. It's done. Whether it's psychological,
I wouldn't
or you need a
consider an
therapy,
abortion
that's okay.
safe. People have died doing abortions. I wouldn't consider an abortion safe.
I feel like they do abortions when it's like the shady route versus the medical route. And at that point, if the person has been advised, hey, like these are your risks, and the person signs away, they have signed away.
You do know that for you to get an abortion, they have to put you on anesthesia. That within itself can kill you if they do it wrong. I'm not even talking about the abortion.
Right, but also the procedures that I need for my own issues in my own body also use, they also put me under, and I need those. So like,
what I want to know though is, you said that abortion is healthcare. So you're saying that you should be, okay. Do you believe healthcare should be universal? Because if that's the case, then you're saying that I should be paying for your abortion, and I have a problem with that. Because I'm hardcore capitalist. I shouldn't be paying for anybody's healthcare. I don't even think I should be paying for Medicaid. Medicare, I'll take it because it's older people. I get you. I understand. But Medicaid, I definitely don't think I should be paying for that at all.
I think we have enough resources that we're kind of just throwing away that we could just literally just, for the people that can't.
What do you mean?
I do believe in universal Medicare.
Okay, why? That's socialist as fuck. So I need a really good argument to this. Because I don't know if you've seen Canada and like other countries, but it's really bad because of their socialist healthcare. So I want to know what your logic is behind that.
I just feel like it's like the basics. You should just get the basics. That does not mean that you get like the best, but you get your foot in the door at least.
But you're forcing everybody to pay for it, even those who aren't working.
We're already paying for things that we don't even like in the first place.
I agree, but it doesn't mean that we should add on to it. You know, like we shouldn't add on to it. I shouldn't have to pay for somebody who doesn't want to work for a living their health care. Why should I have to care for your health? That's your responsibility. That goes back to accountability. I don't think that I should be having to pay for anybody's health care except for the elderly because they're elderly. But a grown woman who wants to like live off the welfare, I don't agree with that at all. Just like I don't agree with Section 8, I don't agree with any of that because I work way too hard to look at my check and be like, damn, a good chunk of my money is going to taxes that are funding these people that don't want to work for a living and they just want to live off of other people. That's what that creates. Any socialist program creates laziness. I mean, it's just so many countries that have fallen into it. Cuba fell into it. Your own mother's country, Colombia, fell into it. Nicaragua, Venezuela, fucking Germany, Spain, France. Like, there's so many countries that have fallen into this. I don't understand why our generation continues to have this socialist perspective of, we need to have universal health care. No, we don't. We need people to give a shit about themselves, work for a living, learn what it is to earn money, so we can have actual quality healthcare. Because universal healthcare is ass. The fuck is the point of you paying for something if it's not even good? I'd rather be paying for something that's worth paying for than paying for something just to have it. You know, like, what the fuck is the point of that? You're just wasting money.
Well, then you're also like, I think that also starts talking about like big pharma, how like they are for capitalistic reasons hiking the price all the way up. There's no reason why there should be a law saying, hey, the shit that like diabetics need, that should be probably like the basics should be capped at this price.
I don't agree with that either. And my family's diabetic.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the price, like if there is no cap for prices, these prices for these drugs that people need.
Do you know what happens when you cap a market?
Tell me.
The value of the product goes down. Not only does the value go down, but you create a surplus at the same time. It's the same thing that Kamala was saying about controlling grocery prices. You cannot control the market because the minute you control the market, you're going to screw up the consumer, which are the people buying the products, and you're also going to screw up the people making the business continue. Because what I realize about about just socialist countries. If you socialize things, the value goes down, and then the value goes down because the people that are creating the product, there's not that many people, because you have to subsidize somehow. So you have mass layoffs. So that's why, to me, it's not about capping. You shouldn't control the market at all. It's about creating more of a what do you call that? Of competition within the pharmaceutical industry. There shouldn't just be a monopoly, which is what's going on right now. There's a monopoly of people that are in the pharmaceutical game. It should be a bunch of fucking people in that game to be able to compete on who has better prices to lower the prices, versus the government saying, oh, I'm gonna take care of it, don't worry about it, we're just gonna cap this really quick. The minute you cap that, everything else is gonna go up in price. That's why I don't, like, to me, it's just, and I'm not even an economist, it's just, to me, it's common sense, because you cannot control the economy. The economy is based off consumers. If you control the economy, the consumers is gonna go down. People are not gonna wanna buy the same thing anymore because the quality goes down, and the people that are making the product, same shit, goes down, because they have to compensate somehow. It's, for example, see if I can give you a better example. If I have, let's say, 100 employees, and I'm creating, I don't know, I'm creating a workout program that's costing me, I don't fucking know, let's say $20 a pop. I'm selling it for $20 a pop, and the government tells me, well, no, you can't do that, that's too expensive, you're going to have to charge people $5 a pop, that way other people can have it. I'm gonna have to be like, well, I have to compensate somehow, because I'm not making the same money as I was before. So what do I have to do? The 100 employees I have, I'm gonna have to shred that shit in half. So I just screwed over consumers, because the quality is gonna go down, because now if I'm $5 a pop, what type of quality product am I gonna give? And then on top of that, I don't have that many people that are working for me anymore. So I had to subsidize the market. So that's why, to me, I don't agree with anything that has to do with government control. Don't cap anything. The only thing you should be capping are laws. Laws is the only thing that you should create a limit.
All I'm saying is that you're talking about not letting the government control these things, but you're still letting them tell me when I can have an abortion.
But you can still have an abortion. There's a time limit. There's a time limit.
Give me a literal. Give me something I can actually work with, not something where it's a gray moment for a week and then now I'm fucked.
I think the first trimester is all you get. That's it.
That's 12 weeks. Okay. You know what? 12 weeks, I could work with 12 weeks. That is fine. I would at least take that, because after that, I don't know what to tell you, my dude. At least you had a chance, I think, at that point. That is something I could work with. If all states at minimum will say 12 weeks, and then from there, they can be like, no, I say 20. No, I say, fuck it, 36. Whatever. At that point, great. But 6 weeks is not enough for me to work with.
I mean, but that's what
6 weeks is not enough.
Honestly, people in Florida really don't care about that, to be honest with you. You know, nobody's throwing a fit here because, oh my God, 6 weeks. They're not. We don't care. The majority of people in Florida are white Americans up north. They really don't care. Right. They're mainly conservative, and Hispanics are mainly conservative now. So it doesn't bother us at all. It didn't bother anybody. I didn't hear anybody complain when the DeSantis said we're gonna cut this to 6 weeks. It didn't matter. It was like, all right, whatever. Sucks for those people, I guess.
I think the option should still be there. I mean, it should just be for the people that need it. For the people who don't need it, then you shouldn't care in the first place.
That's up for the vote, though. You gotta vote on that. You vote for the representative who's gonna vote on that. To it all goes back to, that's why I believe in a republic, because North Carolina had a bunch of representatives that said, yes, we're gonna put it for 12 weeks. But here in Florida, we voted for representatives that agreed they're more conservative. We're gonna put it to 6 weeks, and we don't care because we voted for those people to vote that way. There's people in fucking Ohio that are super liberal. And maybe Ohio people aren't really okay with it because Ohio's kind of conservative, but whatever. It is what it is. You voted for those people. That's what you get. You know what I'm saying? Not mean. I don't know what that. I don't even know.
No, I don't mean. But okay, there was something else that you had said about like putting more competition in there, right?
Yes, there should be more.
And I understand. What you're saying makes sense, right? But what
Vote for
happens?
me for Congress.
What happens if you and me, right? We're stupid rich, right? And I have 3 companies, you have 4 companies, right? And we all supply the same medicine, okay? Like at least let's just say we're gonna pick one just for this example, okay? And I'm like, okay, cool. I have 3 companies all selling this. You got 4, right? Well, we can make a little bit more money if we slowly start hiking up the price. Because at that point, I know that they say monopolizing things are not a thing, but it's still a thing. We just have found loopholes, right? So,
Sure.
So you and me, we're friends. Hey, listen, I'm thinking about doing this. I think you should also do this because that way we both get more money. Cool. And then we just slowly just keep doing that, and things just get like ridiculously more expensive just because we're able to. We are the competition, you and me, and I like you. You're my friend, so we're just gonna do stuff that's gonna be good for each other.
That sounds like
Because
what's
at the end of
happening
the
right
day-
now. Yeah.
Right, and so I feel like
That sounds
So, like,
exactly what's
there-
happening right now. I think you know something that we don't know, Jackie. You know some
all I'm
insider
saying, no,
stuff.
I'm kidding. If somebody kills me, no, I'm kidding.
I wish she would never kill herself, guys. Just saying.
No. We're good. We're good. I like my life.
That's why you're. Nobody got
I
the
said
joke.
somebody, not me.
Oh, you're the insider though. Whatever. You didn't get the joke. That's why women can't be comedians. Go ahead. What were you saying?
You think you're so funny.
Listen, it's the truth. Like the majority of people that are comedians are meant for a reason because we take things way too seriously. It's just.
I don't think that.
I mean, we have more emotions than men do. That's why, we also last longer. That's probably why we take things so seriously, because we know that we're gonna fucking deal with this so much longer than men do. So we
I don't think they
to
think they don't think these things through sometimes. They do stupid shit like this where it's like we're gonna hike up the prices and they're just gonna fucking deal with it.
But that's because there's not that many people in the marketplace. That's the fucking problem.
Right. So the thing is that we're doing what capitalists do, and we're just doing whatever we can to get a bigger buck, and we're not feeling any of the damage that that's doing.
Yeah, that's capitalism, baby.
Right. But the thing, the consumer, the fucking Billy, Pepita, they can't fucking afford the shit that we think that they can't afford.
How'd you come up with Billy and then Pepita?
I don't know. I've remembered. I don't know. Billy. Oh, Billy. There was this guy named Billy. He came over to like fix something on the roof. His name was Billy. That's why. That was the first Billy I've ever met.
Benny's is a freaking financial wizard over here. Let me read really quick what he said. Right now, the consumer is getting destroyed. Yep. It's not about capping. It's about foundation adding competition to the market. Yep. Add some competition to Big Pharma and watch them bring down the prices. Yep. But you pay for insurance now, and all that money is doing is filling up other pockets. Yep. 100%. Look, another reason why I don't agree with socializing shit. The Affordable Care Act. That was supposed to be like what Obama did. That was supposed to help us or whatever, and it totally screwed up the whole health insurance industry, because health insurance made so much money out of a service that had zero quality to it. It's like, yeah, you had this super cheap service that anybody can have, but you still have to pay a fuck ton for medicine. So it's like, what's the point of having this super socialized insurance if our medicine is still expensive? Because the people controlling the medicine are also colluding with insurance companies. And again, there's not that many insurance companies. Like the amount of insurance companies that are in the ACA is, maybe there's more, but the ones that I mainly know because Hispanics are like hooked on that is Florida Blue. Florida Blue is mainly for blacks. So we got Florida Blue that's mainly for blacks. You got Oscar. That's like most Cubans have Oscar. You have Molina. You have Ambetter. You have Aetna.
Okay.
these are, I believe those are the main 5. And you would think that's enough competition. It's not. That's not enough for the amount of people that aren't like the top 50%. You know, I'm not even talking about the 1%. The 1% have like out of this world insurance. I'm talking about top 50%.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the normal people here.
Like, I'm talking about the top 50% of people don't have to worry about anything that's ACA related. The bottom 50 are the ones that are working on the ACA, and there's not that many. That's 5 is not enough for all the amount of people that are bottom 50. So it's like, why don't you create more insurance companies for healthcare? Because it's going to actually benefit the bottom 50, but that's not in the benefit of the insurance companies, and it's definitely in the benefit of the government. Because if the government really gave a shit, then Obama would have incentivized more competition, and he didn't. He did the opposite. He monopolized. He didn't open up the market, which is what he said he was supposed to do. And like,
but like, Trump hasn't done anything different.
No, he did. They didn't allow him to. He wanted to, but didn't allow him. Congress was.
What did he come up with then?
He didn't. He didn't. He was too busy trying to build a wall for 4 years, which didn't
honestly
pass.
Didn't
pass through Congress either.
I think that's fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Hispanics, we're gonna find a way, whether we like it or not.
Oh, I mean, that's not a problem. It's the fact that there's too many people coming here illegally. That's the problem.
I think that there should be, an easier way to be able to come in, to incentivize people coming in legally. Because people are coming in here, they are working, they're doing all this stuff. This is all like things that we can like get taxes from. But they also make it so scary. Like, the person that made it here illegally, the plan was to at some point get residency and become a civilian and pay taxes. Like, I'm talking about the average person.
The problem with that is you need to prove that you are worthy to be a resident. You can't just be a resident. You have to, which I agree, you should be vetted. I want to know that we're bringing in quality people, not just fucking people that are, for example, a good chunk of the people that are coming in, I'm not going to say the majority, a good chunk of people that are coming in are criminals from their countries. And they're coming in here, they're not being vetted. They're bringing in children that we don't even know the children of the people that are bringing in are like related. There's no DNA testing. So like, that's why I personally, which I want to talk to you about this, because I think we have 30 minutes left. Why do you choose to vote for somebody that's legalized human trafficking for the past 3 years? Because she has legalized it. We have over 800,000 children that have gone missing because of what she's done in the border. And this is a woman, which is disgusting. Because it's more acceptable for a man to do this. But this is a woman. So
which is unfortunate. I don't like the view where it's like, oh, the woman, like,
I know, but you would think because she's a woman, she's supposed to be nurturing and caring, she's supposed to want kids and love kids and all this jazz, but she's literally allowed this to happen. So, like, I want to know,
so how would you vet people? How can you? Because Latin America is not good. And I'm saying Latin America just because, like, the majority of people are coming from there.
Not anymore. You have Koreans coming in, you have Africans coming in, you have Chinese people coming in. It used to be like that, not anymore.
So how would you vet people then at that point? Like, if you had to just, bullshit an answer right now.
They would have to stay in Mexico until they get a court case to come here, and they have to prove as to what's your reason to come here. And your reason better be legitimate. And you better have proof to back up your reason.
So then that means that there's going to be a surge of people going into Mexico at that point.
But that's how it was beforehand. That's how it was before him. Before him, it was remain in Mexico, and then we would vet you before coming into the border. In fact, before him, there was a law in place that allowed Homeland Security to vet them with DNA testing to make sure that the person that's coming in with a child, we can make sure that child is your child. And they took that away. Why would you take that away if you're not allowing human trafficking? Like, doesn't make sense.
Because, like, I don't think DNA is a good way of doing it.
I mean,
my DNA
not having any DNA testing is like not the way either, you know? Like, there's some protocols, now there's no protocols, you know? And she was the border czar. She only went to the border one time in the beginning of her VP. She didn't go at all after that. And then the only reason why she went recently this week was to say that she went. It was just for a photo op, you know, just to say, oh, I went. And when they asked her about it, she literally aired people out. She literally like acknowledged, ignored, and resumed. That's something I learned in marketing. That's literally what she did. She's like, I haven't gone to Europe. Bitch, that's not what the fuck I asked you. Answer the fucking question. Like, why haven't you gone back to the border?
That's one thing that I did not like about like the debates and like a lot of the way that they both have answered questions or not have answered questions. Because I was in there and I'm like, listen, I have the memory of a goldfish. I'm gonna go in there and write things down, right? So I would go in there, I'm like, cool, I wrote the answer down. And I want to see where they went with their thought process. And there was, I would say that Trump did it more than Harris. But Harris definitely did it also, where she danced around the question, maybe gave a definition, and then she just left it at that.
She didn't answer one question, Jackie.
She did answer questions, actually. Because I went
did
in there
not answer it. She answered the question without answering the question. That's not answering the question. When they asked her about the economy, this bitch goes, I was a middle class. Like, what does that have to do with the economy, girlfriend? What does that have to do with the economy?
Okay, I will give her, there was a handful of questions. I'm not saying there's a lot, because she dances around questions, and that's one thing I really wish that they would have been like, Miss Ma'am, answer the goddamn question.
Miss Ma'am.
But, like, they're not allowed to do that.
I don't like the idea of two men pretending to, you know, think they can raise a child together. It's just not natural. It's not organic.
It might not seem organic or natural.
We don't even have the data that's going to actually benefit the kid. Like, I have a theory that it's going to screw the kid when it comes to their development, because you're supposed to be raised by both. I mean, there's already statistics that a woman raising a child by herself, there's more statistics that the kid is going to be, there's a higher probability of them being criminals and drug addicts versus a man raising the kid, which is interesting. There's also statistics that women take more advantage of the welfare state versus the man, because they're men, it's harder for them to even get help from the government versus a woman. So there's...
Yeah, especially for... I think for like Florida states where they are mom states, where it's like a mom could say one story, another single dad can say the same exact story, but the mom will get custody and the dad will not, just because she's the mom.
But it's because the laws have allowed that to happen. We go back to laws. If we were to change the laws and say a woman and a man, when they create a baby and the baby is born, the rights of the dad are equal to the rights of the mom. Just because the mom birthed the kid does not mean that she has sole custody of the baby. Like, that's just wrong.
Right,
it took two people to make the fucking baby.
But not every person should have a baby, and I don't mean.
I agree.
I mean that like because I think we have both seen situations where it might be a single parent. Or it could be that both parents were involved and there was still a lot of trauma that came from there. So, like, I don't think that we should single it out to just a biological, like, woman and a biological man, because we have seen how that has gone wrong. Actually, we saw, and I feel like I know where you're going to go with this argument. There is a documentary on Netflix, and it was talking about how this woman, she was 15 years old, she got pregnant, her mom forced her to adopt, put the child for adoption.
She was not a woman at 15 years old, but okay. 15 years old, you're not a woman. Yeah,
my bad. I'm thinking of, because like in the documentary, that was my fault because in the documentary you see her as an older woman, so I'm over here thinking woman, but no, the child had a baby at 15. Her mom forced her to like put it up to adoption, right? With the mentality is, hey, they're gonna go to a better family, right?
Right.
So the baby gets adopted, I think in like maybe 12 weeks. Like this baby's itty bitty baby, okay? And gets adopted by mom and dad, or like husband and wife, right? They have everything under control. She grew up being molested by the man. And whenever she tried speaking up about it, and she was talking about it with like maybe her school counselors, teachers, and stuff like that, she brought it up at school. And so what did they do? They brought in both mom and dad, and we're like, hey, we need to talk about this. Which is why now, in schools now,
Yikes.
if they think that the child is getting abused at home, they can put in a like not a complaint, but like they could open up a claim, and the parents would not be told because of these situations. Because in that, like, there's so many times where like something is going on in the school, they bring in both parents, right? Which especially at the time were mom and dad, woman and man, and something was going on. But now that the perpetrator's in the room, they can't speak up about it because it's just like you're not gonna. They're right there. You're not gonna talk about it.
I mean, you can.
Later on,
It's just, some people are scared to do it. You can.
right. It could be scary, especially for a child, especially for somebody that could have been doing this your entire life and telling you God knows what.
Yeah.
So, I haven't finished it, but like, she ends up running away. She ends up being killed, and it's like she was not fed correctly. So like her friends were bringing her food, they were bringing her clothes, they were letting her shower at the school and stuff like that. It was bad. And that's not the only case where you will hear a nuclear family going wrong. And I'm not saying that it can go better for two dads. I'm saying that it is up to the individuals to choose to be the kind of parent that they want to be.
Right. But the reason why, so I understand your perspective. You're saying that just because it's a nuclear family, that it doesn't mean they're always going to be functioning parents, which understandable completely, because it all depends on mental health of the two parents at the end of the day. But there's just something, if the parents, this is for people that actually want to be good people, right? So
Right.
if there are two people that want to be good people and they create a child, then there's going to be there's a higher probability that child's going to be more successful later on in life versus a child that was
Absolutely.
grown up with one parent. But there's not
Right.
data to prove that two men are going to be as successful than a woman and a man. That's where I'm at. Like, there's no data behind it for us to even be allowing that to happen. I guess science is saying, well, if we don't allow it to happen, then we're not going to create data. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess. But at the end of the day, like, I just don't agree with it. And I also don't agree that that I don't think that they should get married either, because the whole point of marriage was to be able to create life, and you as a gay man and another gay man, you can't create life, so you shouldn't be allowed to marry. I know it's very traditional, but that's just how it is. That's, like back in the day, a woman.
Yeah, if we go traditional, then yes, that is the point. But then think about it this way: gay men. I know they're creating ways, and that's a whole other subject. But they obviously can't have a child naturally.
They cannot.
Why can't they? Why can't they adopt people? Because there's so many children that are not being.
But that's different. I'm okay with that, because those are kids that need a family. So at that point, if you want to pretend to be heterosexual and then go adopt, but that's not what's really happening. It's, for example, who's the gay man who's in the administration I'm not gonna call it Biden's, it's Harris's administration. That guy was fucking, he was just a pawn. In Harris' administration, what's this guy's name? He's a fucking bald with lipstick all the time. He literally went on leave.
I don't know,
What's
but
this guy's name? Forgot his name, bro. He looks super demonic.
is it Sam Brenton? Maybe it's the only name I'm seeing popping up.
I'm see if anybody here knows the hell.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know the name of the guy. Whatever. There's a guy who's in government right now. I think he has to do with like infrastructure or some BS like that. This guy and his husband, because they got married, decided to get a surrogate, which I think is also wrong, and create a life with this woman, and then raise the baby as if they, like, I don't agree with that. Like, if you want to be a dad and you both want to be dads, then go find a freaking foster child and help him. Why are you pretending like you're like a heterosexual? I just don't agree with that. And the fact that there are women who are doing this to themselves for money. It's just like, but there's an organization.
But it's their choice though, and that should be an option.
But I just
because
don't agree
now
with it.
the thing is that like the heterosexual couples, they have the advantage of being able to make children on their own. And then some of them, even though they are biologically tied to this baby, abuse them, mistreat them. We don't have to go very far. We don't have to say, oh, they're getting beaten or anything like that. Some people are just very controlling. Or maybe they have opinions based on their children's body type. Oh, no, they shouldn't be eating this, or they should be eating this. And now they're giving them like eating disorders, or posing on them really hurtful generational trauma kind of thing. So like, and it's just like, you get to make this baby for free.
Hi, Kylie. Okay, so I don't believe in generational trauma. I think that's a victimhood mentality. I think you can believe it, and then you allow it to consume you, or you can say that doesn't exist, and then you're taking control of your own life.
I think that's done subconsciously, and it's because people don't talk about mental health enough.
Yeah,
I think it's because it's.
But you already said it's a mental health thing.
Oh no, yeah, that's a whole like other thing. I think that like you at the end of the day, you chose to be like this, right. Because like I very well could have done that with my child. The way that like I could have progressed that forward, I could have normalized that, and I could have just been like, oh yeah, that's just how we are. It's a Hispanic thing, or it's a woman thing, and right. What we're talking about before that. But again, people choose to be that way. People choose to hand this down to their child. So like, whereas homosexual relationships or any other relationships that are out there, they give more thought to this because they can't just make a child. They have to be like, cool, we have to come up with the money, or we have to come up with be more dedicated, because there are a lot of obstacles that we have to put in. I'm not saying that makes them better parents, because at the end of the day, I think it's just up to the individual on whether they're able to be a parent or not. But I don't think that the argument of like, oh, well, they're heterosexual couple, they automatically, maybe not automatically, but the majority of them are good parents, and I don't think that's true either.
It's not even about like, you can have a nuclear family and have shitty parenting, but at the end of the day, like, the best people are birthed from adversity. So like this idea of like, oh, we shouldn't allow, like, this all goes back to abortion. We shouldn't allow abortion to happen, because what if these parents end up being bad parents? Well, I don't think we have the right to play God. That's why I decided God to be the first topic. We shouldn't have the right to play God. And for all you could be ending one of the greatest musicians of all time. You can be ending the life of one of the best presidents of all time. You don't freaking know.
But that's why it shouldn't be left up to God, because depending on the person's belief, that could change the whole thing.
But if you abort, how are you leaving it up to God? You are playing God. That's what I'm saying.
It should be just left up to the person, because we can debate the whole God thing all day long. Let's say I don't even believe in God. So like God, the whole idea of being God or playing God is irrelevant.
Sure. But at the end of the day, right, you don't have the right to end somebody's life. If everybody knows that killing is bad, right? Everybody can say, yes, killing is bad unless it's self-defense. But when it comes to you and what you want to do, you're not killing this because you're focusing on you, but you are, because you're ending a life. You're ending a developmental pregnancy that's becoming a baby, and then that baby can become the greatest of all time. You don't know.
Right, or they can become the worst of all time. Like, they can go both ways.
You have to allow that child to make that decision. That's not up to the person.
But you should let the mother make the decision.
No, you shouldn't. That's not up to the mother.
Yeah, you should.
The mother decided to have sex. That's consent, bro. If the mother decided to have sex, that's consent right there.
No, that's not how it works, Marianne.
I mean, that is how it works. Most people have sex and they agree to having sex. That's how it works.
Oh my God. That's actually like, there's two people in my life right now, and I'm so mad at them because like,
am I one of them?
They're both men.
Oh, never mind.
No, they're both men. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, they both of them got pregnancy scares. One of them, it was just a scare. The other one, no, she's actually pregnant. And I'm like, okay, all right, so you're scared because of obviously you don't get the choice, right? You're a dude, but you didn't wrap it up beforehand. Y'all didn't have the conversation of, hey, how do you feel about abortion beforehand? Bro, I was so mad at them because I was just like, these are things that is understandable if you don't talk about if you're teenagers, but y'all are both adults.
Because men don't think they should be having that conversation, which I disagree with. Because it took two
Right,
of you
right.
to have sex, so you should both have this conversation together. But because they both agreed to have sex, if they happen to get pregnant, then we have to allow God to take course and have the baby. And if you want to take it for adoption, sayonara to the baby. But at least allow the baby to live and let the baby do what it wants to do. It could be a drug addict and kill himself by its own, or it can be the greatest of all time. But I think you should allow it to just do its thing.
Okay.
Vote
And
for
with
me
that,
for-
I'm gonna have
vote
to
for
leave
me
you
for
because it
Congress.
is.
That's gonna be my new thing now. Vote for me for Congress. Oh my God, with the thing and everything. Look at that. It's perfect. That works out just fine.
No. You have a tattoo.
What are you talking about?
you better
There's a
cover that
freaking-
up.
Oh my God. There's all right. I'm done. After this, I'm done. All right. There's one of my favorite congressmen. He's from Oregon. His name is Eli, I think it is. Bro, he has a whole sleeve, bro. He's a Navy SEAL. Oh, he was ex-Navy SEAL. But he has a whole freaking sleeve, and he looks so badass because he has long hair and a freaking beard, and he's always wearing glasses. He looks so dope.
What's his name?
Eli. Just put Oregon Congressman Eli. It'll pop up. He looks badass. He has a whole sleeve. Has a beard, long hair, and he's always lifting his sleeves up to make sure people know that he's sleeved up. Like, you know. It's like,
I
I'm a congressman.
definitely pressed the wrong person because it was like this guy with
It's
a
a white
round
dude.
face, eyes. He looked like a.
I have him.
He looked like a.
I have him on X. I think it's
Elijah Crane.
yeah.
Let's see. Let me get a better picture of him because he looks like a square right now. Elijah Crane sleeve. Because that's what I'm here for. I want to see that sleeve.
I don't think he's gonna show the sleeve. It only shows up when he's this guy.
He looks like a bear.
He's badass.
Like he looks
bro.
like one of those like cozy dudes. I don't want to
know,
call
but
him badass,
He's
but he looks.
badass, man. I was like, damn, this guy. You can tell that he's seen some shit. He's seen some shit. There's a couple Navy SEALs in Congress. Pretty cool. Pretty
Okay, my
cool
love.
stuff. All right.
I
Thank
must
you
go.
for joining.
We can do this again.
Yes. Thank you guys
I
for watching. Those who did, subscribe, like, share. If you guys don't like and engage, the algorithm is not going to favor me. So thank you guys. I love you. Thank you, Jackie. I love you more. See you guys
I love
next
you.
time.
Bye.